Well, the finance minister laid down fiscal deficit numbers as well as she stuck to fiscal prudence for the next few years. But the markets got spooked because the markets seemed to have suggested that they wanted something more. Remember, in the last 1 year, the Indian markets have underperformed and the FIs actually have been net sellers for the last 1 year or so. So there were market participants that expected some kind of a booster shot to come in for the equity markets. Now that wasn't to be because the Nifty got clonked back today. The Nifty Bank as well did see selling, and they were selling across sectors in today's trading session. Let me highlight a few factors that didn't play out in favor of the bulls. What spooked the markets? Well, the STT, that's a securities transaction tax. That's effectively the tax you pay when you're trading, particularly in the futures and the options space. That was hiked both on the futures as well as on the option side of things. It went up by close to around 150% and around 50%. Now, the market was expecting some kind of leeway on the capital gains front, whether it was on LTCG or STCG. That wasn't to be. In fact, this came as a bit of a rude shock because STT will dampen market sentiment more than anything, and that didn't go down well. The second factor that played out was the gross market borrowings. That came in at around 17 lakh crore. The market was bracing for a number of around 16 to around 16.5 lakh crore. So at around 17 lakh crore, the fear is that the yields will move up, bond yields will move up, pricing will move down, and that in fact is a bit of a negative, particularly for the PSU banking names. So both these two stood out as negatives. What played out in favor though were for a couple of sectors. For the EMS space, there was a bit of a hike that we saw out there, and that's why that sector actually outperformed. There was some kind of a booster shot that came in for data centers, but that's going to be in a longer term. That's why you had select data center names that did do well. So the markets go home with a sharp cut in today's trading session. And keep in mind, the foreign investors weren't participating. They come back tomorrow. For the time being, sentiment seems to be hit from an equity market perspective. The budget 2026 didn't really deliver any kind of booster shot that one was hoping for.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.